But it took time to understand the man. Now, can you say you know him well? Do you? Nothing is so good. I forgot the lyrics. No one in your life constantly, and he was ever so much younger then. Shouldn't he really think he ought to plan? Wasn't I good? Wasn't I fine? Okay, good morning everyone. My name is Carolyn, and clearly I have no shame. All right. I'm a legal practitioner, as if that gives me a license to be shameless. But today I'm here at the invitation of the mothership Labuan IBFC, and they're regretting it already. Nothing is so good, it lasts eternally. This room is turgid with grey matter, but there's nothing cryptic about that phrase, is it? That the most obstinate of patriarchs and matriarchs can deny. Nothing can last eternally. Perfect situations must go wrong. Now that's George Clooney in a kayak on Lake Como, but that's not Amal, that's a great white. Now, this is somewhat an echo of Murphy's Law, isn't it? But it probably takes a professional to advise the client concerned that albeit what might seem like the perfect situation, things can and possibly will go wrong if plans and structures are not put in place and managed properly. It takes time to understand the man. A good structure takes time. The man, the patriarch, the lady, the matriarch. I'm sure many of you know and agree that getting the plan, the structure into place is getting to know the client well and to truly understand what the client wants. And once that investment, which is a two-way traffic between the client and the professional service provider, is nurtured through whatever time required, then one can say, hopefully, I know him or her so well. I like to believe that the investment of time with the client also brings about a level of trust that is a commodity absolutely required in this field. When we move on to structure, one hears and takes into account the client's concerns. No one in your life is with you constantly. I somewhat hear this phrase allude to the trustworthiness, and in our context, I would imagine on several levels. For example, the patriarch's spouse, the matriarch's spouse, the executors, the trustees-to-be, the intended beneficiaries, and even the service providers. And of course, that ancient issue of fidelity, which if not reined in, might become the case of divorce, or pardon me, more Hollywood correct, conscious uncoupling. No one is completely on your side. To say that people can be 100% loyal is like saying Carolyn O can have a recording contract. No chance. Okay, I hear the snickering, that's why I'm still here. Sidebar one, for those who have previously heard me attempt to render a form of song, I apologize for having plagiarized myself. Sorry, Marcus. But this old girl has no new tricks for now, and moreover, only Elaine Page has allowed me to massacre her song. I've really only been allotted 20 minutes, and I've sung 5 now, so I'm going to carry on. Steps to plan and structure. So once this patriarch and matriarch clients of ours takes that first step to realize and accept that they have to plan, and of course the realization and acceptance must entirely be theirs, analogy of horse to water. Then we get to go on to the academia, work towards the correct structure, find a suitable and correct jurisdiction. Of course, this on the assumption that one would have found all the requisite service providers along the way. For me, a wealth management structure is a real story sandwiched between the statutory provisions of the chosen law and the rules and regulations of the chosen jurisdiction. And of course, managed by its maker and or his select team of professionals. On this note, let me go on a little bit about Labuan. I had the opportunity to explore this jurisdiction at the behest of one of my client family, and explored I did. One of the most important things, and I believe many of you might agree, people make the place, the jurisdiction. The person who is trustworthy in very small matters is also trustworthy in great ones. It's a piggy bank. I'm pleased to know that the people I spoke with, or sometimes debated with, in the Labuan area jurisdiction over statutory rules and regulations and how they might be interpreted are still there for 5 years down the road, and hopefully for quite a while longer. It is important for the clients that the decree and warranties of the jurisdiction as mouthed by their resident regulators are kept. For the test of the jurisdiction is also to withstand the test of time. As a Malaysian practitioner, I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of relevant authorities. For example, the land registries, the courts, the local councils. And for those who can't see my eyes right now, I'm rolling them. I can't roll my eyes. With the regulators, the Labuan FSA personnel, I recognize an air of professionalism, an international professionalism. I suppose it comes from the intended focus. If you want to be an international player, then one needs to have that international flair or work towards it. Now, is Labuan a young jurisdiction? Well, comparatively to other jurisdictions, seemingly so. Even the several Labuan trust companies, which also dabble in the other jurisdictions, admits that Labuan is new-ish. However, Labuan, I'm given to understand, has been an offshore destination for about 24 years now. Yes, that's about 24 years. From the days of Labuan IOFC, rebranded IBFC in the year 2008. And the year 2010 came out with several new statutes and accompanying products, which were marketed rather ferociously in Labuan's Wealth Management Year 2013. With Labuan's young attitude, as an external professional, I do notice the vehemence in which Labuan markets itself, and that will be comparative to the more established jurisdictions, which can at times seem a tad jaded, believing that people know where they are and what services they provide. But where is Labuan? Labuan in the offshore jurisdiction map might be just a little blip, but is it? I can remember the days when I was in UK, when people asked where I was from. And whilst people seemed to know where Singapore was, they didn't seem to even see that huge peninsula right above Singapore. Of course, I wasn't the only Malaysian abroad that faced that problem. It really depends on how you deal with it, isn't it? After unfruitful explanations, some Malaysians might cave in and say, yeah, we are that bit of body of land just above Singapore. I don't do that. I draw something like that looks like a bent out-of-shape papaya to explain the peninsula above Singapore. And of course, I need to paint them more and go over to East Malaysia and draw my out-of-shape chicken thing. So the point I'm trying to make is that location. It's really all about marketing, isn't it? And making a point to show people where you are and what you do. I reiterate my remark that I can see and know that Labuan is marketing, because all that 4 or 5 years ago, how I came upon Labuan was through a foreign non-Malaysian client who sought out Labuan themselves and instructed that I look into it. That was when pathetic Malaysian me first took out the map to see where Labuan is. Yes, guilty. When I asked the clients why Labuan, they said Labuan was new. And they feel Labuan might be the right jurisdiction for them to place their family structure and hopefully grow securely and successfully with Labuan. I'm going a bit fast, I think. Yeah, but we can have a longer panel session, right? So time's almost not really up. I'm going a bit fast today. I botched up my singing part at the beginning, I must admit. So let me say this. If Los Angeles is La La Land to the Hollywood crowd, then Labuan might want to strive, and I do believe is striving, to be the La La Land to the ultra high net worth crowd. Takes time for perfect structures. Do you know him well?